Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning. Okay, all students are joining. We'll start shortly. Okay, so in last lecture, we have started with the fourth unit, which is statistics and probability. And under that, the part of statistics we were dealing with, which contains only the term called as the measures of variability. So before measures of variability, we have studied the measures of central tendency also, right? And it includes mean, mode, median, their formulas, their natures, and everything about the central tendency. Out of which we are just going to mostly use is the stable central tendency, which is called as the average or mean. And many of the times, while defining the variability, initial variability, which is termed as range or quartile deviation or interquartile range, we are going to consider the median. What is the median? Can anybody tell me? What is the median? Any answer from one? And what is the mode? Do anybody know that?
Median is middle number.
Middle value.
Highest occurring value is mode.
And sorry, mode का क्या है?
Highest, the data with more number of the data with largest frequency.
The data with largest frequency, most frequently occurring observation, right, is nothing but the mode. So to define range, quartile deviation, and interquartile range, we are using median. Then to define the average deviation or the mean deviation, we may use any one of these three: mean, median, and mode. And to define the standard deviation, most probably we are going to use x bar, that is nothing but the average or the mean of the data. Right now we are just dealing with the single variable data. सिंगल वेरिएबल डेटा के लिए हम ये सारी चीजें डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? ओके, सो while coming to the variability along with the central of tendency gives us further some firm analysis of the data. Single, average or mean about certain data don't give us the proper information about the data. So we have to define the measures of variability also, and out of that, these variability we are going to study range, then semi interquartile range और इसे हम quartile deviation भी बोलते हैं, then interquartile range, average deviation जिसे हम mean deviation भी बोलते हैं, standard deviation and variance. I guess all of these variabilities you might have studied in 11th and 12th standard. Do you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just quickly complete this part and we'll complete with the part of variability also. So range किसे कहते हैं? This is the difference between the highest and lowest value of the data distribution we are having. So the simple formula is highest score minus lowest score is nothing but our range. So see this example. these are our observations. So out of this, the highest observation is 50, lowest is 4. So our range is 46. A very simple part. Then, before we go for the next variabilities, we must understand the quartiles. Quartiles divide the entire data set into 4 equal parts: Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Generally Q4 हम represent नहीं करते, which is the 4th quartile and gives us the 100% 100 percentile, and it includes the highest 25% of observations. So ये जो number of observations है ना हमारे, वो हम 4 parts में distribute करते हैं. कैसे करते हैं? By arranging all the observations in ascending manner. So Q1 represents your first quartile, represents the 25% of total observations from lowest side. Then Q2 represents nothing but the median, and it indicates the position of the atom in the list with the positional average. So 50% of values below that Q2 we are getting. Q3 represents the third quartile, and it includes the 75% of the total number of observations. So to find out the quartile, what do we have to take care of? Arrange the data in ascending order and then distribute into 4 quartiles. So here we can understand in a better form. So ये एक ग्राफ है, आपके पूरे observations 4 parts में divided है, equal parts I must say. So the lowest part represents your first quartile. 0 to 50% of observations includes in the second quartile, which is almost equal to your median. Median we termed as the middle value of the observation. Then third quartile represents the 75% of the observations, and the fourth quartile represents the entire data, or more generally it is termed as the highest 25% of the observations. So जो observation है जिस पर हम Q1, Q2, Q3 अरेंज करते हैं, वो ऑब्जर्वेशंस हम इस फॉर्मूलाज के साथ फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. सो अगर मेरे पास n ऑब्जर्वेशंस है तो n+1 डिवाइडेड बाय 4 स्टैंड्स फॉर द फर्स्ट क्वार्टाइल, n+2 डिवाइडेड बाय 2 स्टैंड्स फॉर द सेकंड क्वार्टाइल, दैट इज मीडियन. 3 times n+1 divided by stands for the third quartile. And now we'll come to the next variability term, which is a quartile deviation. It is a measure that depends on the relatively stable central portion of the distribution, and this is called as the semi-interquartile range also, and calculated as Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. A very simple formula. अगर यहाँ से डिनोमिनेटर से 2 हम हटा दे तो Q3 minus Q1 represents our interquartile range, and generally it represents the 50% of the distribution of our data. So range, interquartile range, then semi-interquartile range. All of these three terms of variability we are having. इसके uses क्या क्या है, इसके significance क्या क्या है, all that part I have included in one PPT and that I will share with you. So just try to go through with that. Anyhow, for this particular part, majority of the problems will be based on the standard deviation and variance. And one more aspect which is called as the coefficient of variation, which is a relative variability. हम यहाँ पर 2 types की variability पढ़ रहे हैं, आपको अगर याद होगा, one is the absolute and second is the relative. So absolute variability में हम sigma and sigma square में standard deviation and variance पर ज़्यादा problems लेंगे, and relative variability में हम coefficient of variation पर problems लेंगे, right? Where this coefficient of variation gives us privilege to observe or to verify the consistency of 2 different data. Suppose मेरे पास एक डेटा है x, दूसरा डेटा है y, which is dealing with the same type. In that case, the x data and y data we can compare with the help of this coefficient of variation. So that is our relative variability. So हमारे जो maximum problems होंगे वो इस pattern पे होंगे, and rest of all parts you have to remember in terms of the standard results. Many of the times आपको observations दिए जाएंगे and you will be asked to identify just interquartile range. What is its value? So to apply the formula is not at all a difficult part for that case. Coming to the next mean deviation. ये भी हमने पढ़ा होगा. Mean deviation is the mean of the absolute differences of the values from the mean or mode or median. But many of the times mean deviation is calculated around this capital A, which is assumed mean. तो अगर आपने एवरेज या हमारी जो स्टैंडर्ड मीन है उसके अराउंड कैलकुलेट किया, मोड के अराउंड, मीडियन के अराउंड या फिर assumed मीन के अराउंड, जो मीन डेविएशन कैलकुलेटेड है वो बहुत ज्यादा वेरिएटेड फॉर्म में नहीं मिलेगा. सो आइदर ऑफ द थिंग वी कैन यूज इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस ए. And the formula is 1 upon n, where n is the number of observation, summation of fi, these are the frequencies, and xi minus a is the difference between, absolute difference है ये. So negative positive का कोई यहाँ पर चांस नहीं है. Absolute difference of the values, our real observations and the assumed mean or mode or median. तो a इसमें से कुछ भी हो सकता है. So this is the formula for mean deviation. And now come to the standard deviation. Over here, I'm going to explain you the two formulas, one for ungrouped data and second for grouped data. So यहाँ पर ये grouped होगा. Uncut कर देंगे हम यहाँ से. So consider the set of observations K observations है हमारे पास. Then the formula for standard deviation is determined with the help of this formula sigma, noted by sigma is equal to square root of 1 upon k, number of observations, summation I is equal to 1 to k, xi minus x bar. Compulsorily here we are going to consider the standard average, standard central of tendency, which is mean, and bracket square. So this is without frequency distribution. And with frequency distribution, what will be the change? 1 upon n. This capital N is the summation of all frequencies. Means what? Number of observations. Correct? Then summation of fi into xi minus x bar ka square. Only these two terms are getting added when we are talking about the frequency distribution. So these are the two standard formulas for standard deviation. And many of the time, this standard deviation we are going to use in further determination. जब हम आगे वाला पोर्शन पढ़ने जा रहे हैं प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का, along with the basics of probability, further we are going to define the probability distribution, and 3 probability distributions we are going to study. One is called as the binomial, second is called as the Poisson, third is called as the normal distribution. So out of these two, these are the for discrete values, this is for continuous. Poisson can be turned to continuous. And to calculate all of these 3 distributions, we will be requiring the sigma, which is the standard deviation, and we will be requiring the x bar also, which is the standard mean. And that's why this particular portion we are revising over here also from statistics. Coming to the next part, standard deviation is nothing but the square root of variance. That means variance can be termed as the sigma square. So iska jo formula hai variance ka, that also we can note down over here. Sigma square is equal to, just square hata do, under root hata do, we'll get its square. So this is the formula for variance with ungrouped data, and this is a formula for variance with grouped frequency distribution. Now मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, ये आपका सिग्मा है, तो सिग्मा स्क्वायर क्या हो गया? दिस इज 1 अपॉन n समेशन i इज इक्वल टू 1 to n fi xi माइनस x बार का स्क्वायर. एंड ये सिंप्लीफिकेशन करने के बाद हमें ये फॉर्मूला मिला है. Shall I explain that? Our sigma square is this one, and formula is generated in this way by simplifying this particular square and its product. Shall I explain that? Or is it okay for you? यहाँ पर भी सेम फॉर्मेट में फॉर्मूला लिखा है. Shall I explain this? Yes or no? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So shall I explain this or not?
No, ma'am, it's okay.
Okay, yeah. And then the formula for coefficient of variation, which is a relative variability. So coefficient of variation we can calculate by formula sigma, that is standard deviation divided by the arithmetic mean multiplied by 100. So ये formula है coefficient of variation का. Now let us just understand the remarks. Okay, यहाँ पर है ही explain. You can check it out. मैं ये PPT आपके साथ share कर दूंगी. For calculation purpose, the following formula for standard deviation we are using. So ये formula कैसे generate हुआ है इसका explanation दिया है. And on similar level, frequency distribution के लिए आप try कर सकते हो. Standard deviation gives information about the distribution of data from its mean value. Very true. From the formula also we can get that. Coefficient of variation gives information about the distribution of the data from its mean value in percentage. Right? So जब हम percentage में ला सकते हैं तब हम compare कर सकते हैं. So here we can understand the standard deviation is 0.20 and the mean is 0.50. Then the coefficient of variation is 40%. So coefficient of variation helps us to understand lower standard deviation doesn't mean that less variable rate. So यहाँ पर वैसे ये standard deviation less है if we compare from 0 to 1. But still coefficient of variation we are having as 40%. So that does not mean that standard deviation lower side में है तो हमारा data variable नहीं होगा. That both of the things standard deviation and mean will decide that. So यहाँ से हम conclusion निकाल सकते हैं कि more coefficient of variation is more variability and less consistency. Okay. Then less coefficient of variation means less variability and more consistency. So likewise, more sigma अगर है तो more variability, less consistency we can have it, but it is not. It is broadly we are speaking for sigma, and less sigma, less variability, more consistency. So that is we are talking relatively, and coefficient of variation के लिए हम strongly बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है? So यहाँ से हम problem check कर सकते हैं couple of problems. See that standard deviation, ये हमारा डेटा है एंड जैसे हमारा फॉर्मूला ऊपर हमने लिखा है हम यहाँ पर स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन निकाल सकते हैं. अप्लाई द फॉर्मूला फॉर सिग्मा स्क्वायर. फर्स्ट यू कैन कैलकुलेट एक्स बार हमें कैलकुलेट करना है इन सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस की मीन. सो दिस समेशन वी आर हैविंग 448 डिवाइडेड बाय 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 ऑब्जर्वेशंस आर देयर. सो हियर वी आर गेटिंग अवर मीन, राइट. एंड एक्स बार का स्क्वायर दैट वी नीड टू कैलकुलेट. ये एंटायर कॉलम हमें सिर्फ कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. सो फॉर्मूला इज दिस वन वेयर एक्स बार वी आर कैलकुलेटिंग, इसका स्क्वायर हम निकाल सकते हैं. एक्स आई स्क्वायर आई हैव टू कैलकुलेट फॉर ईच वैल्यू एंड देन आई हैव टू टेक इट्स सम. सो सिग्मा स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1/8 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय दिस वैल्यू माइनस एक्स बार स्क्वायर गिव्स यू 40.5. Hence sigma is 6.3640. Very simple. Second formula problem. We are having two batsmen A and B and 10 matches. Their scores for 10 matches is given to you. Now I have to just identify which is more consistent. And for that sake, we are using standard deviation, sigma and CV, coefficient of variation. So now batsman A, I'm having as a one set or one set of observations. So this I can consider as X and this I can consider as Y. और यहाँ पर A and B दे के रखा है तो हम वो consider कर सकते हैं. So I'm having two set of observation जिनके बीच में comparison करना है. Sigma X bar that means standard deviation for each, X bar that means mean for each, and coefficient of variation for each gives us privilege to compare both of the datas. So very simple. Coefficient of variation for A find out करो by the formula sigma for A, X bar for A and their ratio multiplied by 100. Similarly for B, sigma B, X bar for B, their ratio multiplied by 100. So these two values we can compare. to check out which is more consistent and which is not consistent. So all of the values are calculated over here. Shall I explain the entire problem? Problems are very simple. So I just want to go through it. And anyhow, on this particular article, we will be maximum having all the questions of 1 marks, and probably in such of the case, the questions for 2 mark. ठीक है, मैं इस पर MCQ कैसे आता है वो भी बताती हूँ. So let me explain one case here. Coefficient of variation A. Formula we noted. We do want sigma A. So sigma square, first of all, we can calculate, or directly sigma A you can calculate. No issues at all. So this is the xi square divided by the number of observations minus x bar square. So sigma square we are getting as 311.2. Sigma is 17.6409. And this is our sigma A. Now before we calculate the coefficient of variability, हम B के लिए sigma की value check करते हैं. So this is sigma B 12.1078. Now from sigma A and from sigma B, shall we conclude that A is more consistent and B is less consistent? That we cannot say here. हाँ, variability ज़्यादा है ये हम बोल सकते हैं, but कौन A and B में से कौन ज़्यादा consistent है ये नहीं बोल सकते हैं. Right? So for the same, we'll calculate further the x bar. Here we are having 48 and here we are having 46. Right? So we can check out now the coefficient of variation for A, 36.75 by using this formula. And for B, this is 26.32 by using this formula. So I can state that batsman A is less consistent because the coefficient of variation is 36.75, which is greater than coefficient of variation for B. So the conclusion we can make that coefficient of variation of B is less than batsman A has more variability compared to batsman B, or batsman B is more consistent compared to batsman A. So two data we can compare with the help of this coefficient of variation. Likewise, few more problems we have given over here to calculate further other things. I want you to go through this couple of problems we included here. All right. And this is all about our part or point from our unit, measures of variability under the statistics part. All right. यहाँ पर किसी को कुछ doubt है? Shall we solve a couple of problems? Or is it okay? Shall I move towards the probability now then?
Yes, ma'am.
Human some problems.
Okay. जिनको problems चाहिए मैं problems भेज सकती हूँ आपको. Because most of that part you have completed in your 11th 12th standard, so it's not a big deal for you to go through the problems. So कुछ problems मैं इस पर best भेज देती हूँ practice के लिए. Okay, now I'll start with the probability. Before we start the probability distributions, which I named just before 5-10 minutes, to deal with that, I must know the basics of probability. So basics of probability आपको 12th standard में कहाँ तक हुआ है? Do you have definition? Definition of probability थी, right? Then types, correct? Then algebra of probability, conditional probability. Was it there? Then independent events, Bayes theorem. Was that part there? And probability distribution. I hope इतना बार आपको हो चुका है. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just quickly revise this part. because it's almost 1.5 month after your 12th, 1.5 year after your 12th, you haven't deal with this particular part. And I guess probability सबको easy जाता होगा तो. So basically, what is the probability is? It is the mathematical model which deals with the chances or randomness. Now let me give you one example. We used to have this experiment number of times, throwing a coin and guessing whether it is head or tail. Correct? So what exactly output we may get, either head or tail? We can't say. Am I right? So if we can't say, still, what is the probability of getting head? It's 1/2, right? And probability of getting tail, it's also 1/2. But if I throw a coin right now, which is going to be happen, that we don't know. Correct? But ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, अगर मैं ये जो थ्रो करने का मेरा टास्क है वो मैं नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स रिपीट करूं, से n विच इज प्रीटी लार्ज, n टाइम्स अगर मैं ये रिपीट कर रही हूँ एक्सपेरिमेंट विच इज प्रीटी लार्ज, इन दैट केस आई मे स्टेट दैट आई एम हैविंग 50% of chance to get heads, or 50% of times chances to get head, and 50% of time chances to get tail also. Right? So in a long run, I may get a stable outcome out of the game of chance or phenomenon of chance or phenomenon of randomness. So the entire probability theory is based on this part. What? The stable long run behavior of a random phenomena or random experiment is the basis of our probability theory. So I may get certain firm outcomes through the random experiments after a long run, after a long number of experiments or number of turns we are assuming. Let me give you one example. आपने गाड़ी चलाते वक्त बहुत सारे रोड्स पर कुछ इंडिकेटर्स देखे होंगे, द प्रोबेबल एरिया ऑफ एक्सीडेंट ऐसे करके एक हमें साइन मिलता है, रोड साइन मिलता है, जहां पर हमें सजेस्ट किया जाता है कीप योर स्पीड स्लो एंड ऑल. तो वो जो एरिया है वहां पर एक्सीडेंट हो गए ही, ये कैसे डिसाइड किया जाता है? थ्रू द लॉन्ग रन बिहेवियर. वहां पर एक्सीडेंट होता ही है क्या हर एक मिनट पर? नॉट श्योर, राइट? लेकिन वो पर्टिकुलर एरिया प्रोहिबिटेड एरिया बोला जाता है या माना जाता है बेस्ड ऑन द ऑब्जर्वेशंस व्हिच हैव डन, based on the so many observations over the period of time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years के बाद. Correct? So the randomness is there in happening the accidents on that particular road. But over the period of time, through the observations we are getting, we can have a certain firm conclusion that this is the road where accident may happen. Probability of happening accident is more. Now, variety of aspects are there. We are roughly talking about the same. So this is nothing but our probability theory. Another part is that applications of probability, when it was invented by the mathematician B. Pascal, it was the problem of gambling. And over the period of say 20-30 years also after the invention, it was assumed that it is just the game of chance. Probability is just the game of chance. But nowadays, it has a variety of applications in all over the sciences, like actuarial sciences. It's very interesting science. I hope you have heard this word. Agriculture, economics, commerce, medicine, psychology, and many more. So basically, we have to remember probability deals with the all of these situations where there is an element of uncertainty. It's very important, or chance, or the randomness. So for that, for the same, we are going to discuss the distribution, which are having majority of applications in computer science and in the theory of chance or randomness. So let us deal with the prerequisite first of all. I hope you know the symbol NCR. This is a binomial coefficient, have the formula n factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial. right? Examples: NC0 is always 1, NCN is always 1, NCR is equal to NC n minus R. Algebra of the sets आपको पता होना चाहिए. Then number of ways of arranging R objects out of n given objects in line. So this is called as the permutation, right? जिसका formula है NPR is equal to n factorial upon n minus R factorial, where R is less than or equal to n. Factorial कैसे लिखते हैं? This is the product of sequential integers, is nothing but the factorial. NPN, permutation of n objects out of n, is n factorial. Fundamental principles we must know: addition principle, multiplication principles for probability. Now we define the terminology of probability. What is the experiment? Here, the experiment for probability is always considered as a random experiment, whose outcomes are known, but which is going to be happen is not known. Like the throwing coin. पता है head या tail मिलेगा, लेकिन अब कौन सा मिलेगा ये पता नहीं है. So we must know that there are two types of experiments. One is deterministic and second is non-deterministic. Non-deterministic means this random experiment. So random experiment is the base of our probability. Sample space. So set of all possible outcomes of that random experiment is called as a sample space. And out of sample space, few elements may appear in our event. So every element of the sample space is called as a sample point, and the sample point is denoted by generally capital letter S, and the total number of observations in it are denoted by n of S, the total number of sample points. Event. Any subset of sample space is called as the event. Complement of an event. If A is an event of the sample space, then its complement is denoted by AC. Suppose ये मेरा universal set है, and if I am having this as the event, और ये मेरा sample space है, and ये मेरा event है, तो ये हो जाएगा A complement. Always the situation will not be like this. I may have the situation like this. This is A, right? This is B over here. So A को छोड़ के the rest of जो भी है वो A complement हो जाएगा. और डिनोट करने के नोटेशंस भी डिफरेंट हो सकते हैं. म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट्स, ऐसे दो इवेंट जिनमें कुछ भी कॉमन नहीं है, सो देयर इंटरसेक्शन विल बी फाइन, राइट. एग्जॉस्टिव इवेंट, ये जैसे हमने अलजेब्रा ऑफ सेट्स पढ़ा था ना, वैसे ही है प्रोबेबिलिटी में भी. तो बहुत ज्यादा वेरिएशंस नहीं है, सिर्फ हम क्या कर रहे हैं, वी आर फर्दर ट्राइंग टू ऑब्टेन प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए यूनियन बी. Exhaustive events. If two events we are having in such a way that the union of events will be our entire sample space, then events are called as the exhaustive. Equally likely events. Two events are said to be equally likely if both events are known, their outcomes, but which is going to be happen, that is not known. So unbiased die, अगर throw करते हैं तो all 6 faces will appear equally likely. टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या है? वन, क्लासिकल, जिसे हम कन्वेंशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी भी बोल सकते हैं, जो आपने 11th एंड 12th स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ी है. एंड सेकंड इज कॉल्ड एज द स्टैटिस्टिकल और इंपेरिकल प्रोबेबिलिटी. आई जस्ट क्विकली रिवाइज दैट. क्लासिकल प्रोबेबिलिटी में हम क्या करते हैं, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एनी इवेंट अगर मुझे फाइंड आउट करनी तो नंबर ऑफ सैंपल पॉइंट्स ऑफ इवेंट ए एम डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ सैंपल पॉइंट्स ऑफ इवेंट एस, ये हम डिनोट करते हैं, करेक्ट. सो इससे हम प्रोबेबिलिटी फाइंड आउट करते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द केस दिस इज कंसिडर्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिस्क्रीट सैंपल स्पेस इफ वी आर हैविंग, जिसे हम काउंट कर सकते हैं. जब हमारे पास कंटिन्यूअस कोई फंक्शन होगा जिसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी हमें मेजर करनी है, इन दैट केस वी जनरली यूज द सेकंड प्रोबेबिलिटी, स्टैटिस्टिकल और इंपेरिकल. एक्सियम्स क्या है जो प्रोबेबिलिटी की हमें माननी चाहिए? अगर मेरे पास नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स, सैंपल पॉइंट्स ऑफ सर्टेन इवेंट 0 है, तो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ हैपनिंग दैट इवेंट इज ऑब्वियसली 0. अगर सैंपल पॉइंट्स इक्वल टू सैंपल स्पेस जितने हैं, देन प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दैट इवेंट इज ऑब्वियसली होल, एंड आवर एंटायर प्रोबेबिलिटी फॉर एनी इवेंट मस्ट लाई बिटवीन 0 to 1. सो प्रोबेबिलिटी की वैल्यूज इसके बियॉन्ड जा नहीं सकती, दैट वी ऑल नो, एंड दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट we must remember when we deal with the probability distribution of any kind, continuous, discrete, Poisson, binomial, chi-square, sampling, hypothetical test, anything. Probability of any event is either 0 or 1 or lies between 0 and 1. Very certain. From first three axioms, we could get that. What happens in statistical or empirical probability? Here, the trials are repeated for a large number of time, say n, under the same conditions, and a certain event A occurs P into n occasions. Then the probability of event A is given by P multiplied by n divided by n as limit n tends to infinity. It is going to be P. ओके सो एन ऑकेजन्स के लिए वो पर्टिकुलर इवेंट किस टाइप के आउटकम्स दे रहा है उस पर बेस्ड करती है हमारी प्रोबेबिलिटी सो एज लिमिट वी आर यूजिंग दिस प्रोबेबिलिटी विल कम अंडर द कंटिन्यूअस प्रोबेबिलिटी यहां पर भी हमारा जो एक्सियोम है प्रोबेबिलिटी का वो फेल नहीं होता है रादर प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ किसी भी इवेंट के लिए कैसे भी डिफाइन करो दिस एक्सियोम विल ऑलवेज ट्रू probability must lie between 0 to 1. Correct? Okay. Now, some problems of probability here also we mentioned, like we are having 12 students, out of which 5 are boys and remaining means 7 are girls. Find the probability that a student selected is a girl. So what event we are having to select a girl? So what is the probability? N of A. This is selecting one girl out of 7. So possibility is 7. हम choose कर रहे हैं हम permutation नहीं use कर रहे हैं हम choose कर रहे हैं combinations use कर रहे हैं so 7 possibilities are there to select a girl so what is the probability of A is probability of number of samples points of event A divided by number of sample points of event S that is sample space 7 by 12 that's our answer very simple way to determine the probability second example in similar way third example इसका एक beat लेते हैं so a throw is made with 2 dice how many sample points we are having in a sample space 36 first die के फेस पर 1 है second die के फेस पर भी 1 है likewise 36 observations we are having correct so for that 36 observation what is the probability of getting score of third लेते हैं हम at most 10 points ज्यादा से ज्यादा 10 points हो right the word at most is important तो इसका मीनिंग क्या हो सकता है anyone हम एक सिंपल सी प्रोबेबिलिटी के साथ डील कर रहे हैं सो सैंपल स्पेस वी कुड आइडेंटिफाई इज 36 shall I slow down my speed I'm taking very fast because it's already done for everyone
मैम
yes beta
इस 10 or less than 10 मैम एडिशन
at most 10 means 10 or less than 10 okay so all that sample points I have to collect जिनका score sum 10 या 10 से less है so how many observations we are getting score at most 10 points 33 observations let us come to that सबकी sum यहाँ पर less than 10 है except this and except this 10 या 10 से less है so 36 में से ये 3 observations delete करो I will get count 33 so 33 are the number of observations for my event 3 and इसकी probability है 33 divided by 36 that is 11 by 12 so likewise in a simple way we can calculate our probability with classical definition of our probability और इसके सारे axioms हमें पता होने चाहिए so few more problems are included actually I could not get time to type all that problems so यहाँ पर मैंने images ही डाली है problems की go through that coming to the next point from prerequisites conditional probability इसे मैं थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ. S is the sample space where all elementary events are equally likely. राइट, जैसे कि है टॉसिंग अ कॉइन, हेड मिलेगा या टेल मिलेगा. सो दोनों भी सब इवेंट्स जो है वो इक्वली लाइकली परफॉर्म हो रहे हैं. और 52 कार्ड्स का अगर हमने प्रॉब्लम लिया तो इसमें से रेड कार्ड ड्रॉ करने की प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड ब्लैक कार्ड ड्रॉ करने की प्रोबेबिलिटी, ये जो बेसिक एलिमेंट्री इवेंट्स है वो इक्वली लाइकली है. मुझे आइदर ब्लैक कार्ड मिलेगा या रेड कार्ड मिलेगा, पॉसिबिलिटीज 50-50. करेक्ट. So over here, if event A has already taken place and we define the probability of another event B such that A is already occurred, then such probability is called as the conditional probability and denoted by in this way: probability of B such that A is already occurred. So जो A की probability है वो हमारे इस probability को hamper करेगी, right? So formula notation is this one, and the formula is total number of observations of A intersection B. So A intersection B में जो common elements है वो हमें यहाँ पर लेने हैं, divided by number of elements of A, where obviously the number of elements of A must not equal to 0. अगर ये 0 है तो इस probability को कोई meaning ही नहीं है. Similarly, probability of A such that B is already happened, ये कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं इस फॉर्मूला के साथ. Total number of points of intersection divided by total number of sample points of event B. यहाँ पर भी number of elements of B 0 नहीं होने चाहिए. Coming to the independent event, two events are said to be independent if occurrence of one event is not affected by occurrence of other event. Now please make a difference between independent events and exclusive event. Exclusive event में at all कुछ common नहीं है. So A intersection B is equal to 5 है वहां पर. यहाँ पर occurrence of event A is not affected by occurrence of event B, ऐसा है. So the probability of two events A and B are said to be independent if probability of A such that B is already occurred can be considered as probability of B only, and probability of B such that A is already happened is considered as probability of B only. Theorems of probability, इसे हम total probability theorem बोलते हैं. Probability of A union B can be written as like this for sets we were doing, A plus B or n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. Likewise, probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So that part we can keep. ये कुछ remarks भी है उस पर, please check it out. Then we are having theorem of compound probability also. If probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B such that A is already happened, right? ये है compound probability. But if events are independent, in that case probability of A intersection B can be written as probability of A into probability of B for independent events. And then comes the Bayes theorem. So Bayes theorem भी हमारे लिए important है in some sort of point, but for probability distribution what we are studying, Bayes theorem is not much important. So I just mentioned here that statement and a couple of things about the Bayes theorem and some examples also. So you can go through that examples of total probability theorem, compound probability and Bayes theorem and try to explore the basic idea about the probability through all of these problems. So much problem for practice we included. And with that base, we have to move further the probability distribution. Okay. So I thought you agreed that कि ये probability distribution का point भी आपको हो चुका है. Can anybody explain me what is this actually? Then we'll go further. Anyone? What is the probability distribution? Anyone can explain? Okay, variable. Anyone? Okay, I give you a little more time to think about the same. So we just completed today the measures of variability and the basics of probability. Now in this unit, we are just left with 3 points to cover. One, binomial probability distribution. Second, Poisson probability distribution. And third, normal probability distribution. So we can utilize or we can complete all of these 3 points in 3 further lectures. Okay. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we can complete this Poisson distribution and binomial probability distribution also. But normal distribution, we may require little more time to complete because after Wednesday, we will not be having any lecture, and in next week, you will be having your midterm examination. So probably this portion we will be completing after your MT. So I'll give you today to think about what is that probability distribution and what is random variable. If one knows these two concepts, then the further distribution you can understand very easily. All right. Okay, I guess my time is now for today. My time is over for today. So we can discuss this particular part in next lecture. Okay. Shall I stop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Couple of instructions further. In today's tutorial, I want every one of you to join because I'm taking practice for Z transformation, multiple choice questions of Z transformation. And probably tomorrow I will not be engaging the tutorial for B3 and B4 batch. All right. Actually, I'm on leave. I'll let you know about the tomorrow's lecture and day after tomorrow's lecture also. But if I'm engaging that, I will complete the binomial and Poisson distribution. All right. Today, I'm just going to take the practice in view of MT examination for the entire division. And one more task pending for this unit 3, which is the practice test. So like we conducted the IE based on the unit 1 and 2, we will be conducting practice test on this unit 3 also. So today we will take some practice for Z transformation, and after that I will announce the practice test in this week. So let me just know what will be the probable time for you to give this test. Shall we keep in the evening? And the day. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
हा, आपल्याला प्रॅक्टिस टेस्ट ठेवायची आहेत युनिट 3 वर. आज मी MCQs तुम्हाला डिस्कस करणार आहे. त्यानंतर आपण टेस्ट कधी ठेवायचे तो मला टाइम सांगा.
Evening, ma'am.
इव्हनिंग.
Yes, ma'am.
सो 3 वर्स टेस्ट आहे 20 मार्क्सची, 13 क्वेश्चन, आउट ऑफ विच 7 क्वेश्चन विल बी ऑफ 2 मार्क्स, 6 क्वेश्चन्स विल बी ऑफ 1 मार्क, आणि वेळ असेल 25 मिनिट्स प्लस 5 मिनिट्स एक्स्ट्रा इफ रिक्वायर्ड. सो 25 मिनिट्स. सॉरी
मैम एमटी की कितने लेसन है मैम एमटी के लिए?
MT 50 मार्क्सची असेल आपली 3 युनिट्स.
और मैम ऑब्जेक्टिव पेपर है ना मैम?
ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह.
यस मैम, थैंक यू.
Okay. Any other question to anyone? So probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow we will be completing our practice test also, आणि मी परत एकदा रिपीट करते, आज ट्युटोरियल सेशनला पूर्ण डिव्हिजननी जॉईन व्हायचंय. उद्या B3 आणि B3चं ट्युटोरियल सेशन मी ड्रॉप करते. ठीक आहे. आणि उद्या आणि परवाच्या लेक्चर्स पण मी तुम्हाला कन्व्हे करेन. ऍक्च्युली आय एम ऑन लीव, बट इफ स्टील आय एम एंगेजिंग द लेक्चर्स आय विल लेट यू नो. राईट? ओके. So let us stop over here. Shall I take the attendance in Duke session? So that I can keep both of the attendance. So please join over there. I'll take the attendance in Duke session. Let us stop here. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Let us meet on 12:20.